to introduce you to an old friend of mine, Bill Franks. He's the chief steward with AFT Wisconsin, Local 4848. Bill's been a fighter for justice his whole life. He was a conscientious objector during Vietnam. And he's been a staunch union man ever since. A few years ago, he and I both talked at a May Day rally up on the square, and I gotta confess, I think there were only about 37 people there, so things have really changed. I give you Bill Franks.
Y'all hear me? Yeah! I just called up the boss, my wife. I said I'm gonna be on radio. I said I hope they have a bleep machine. Otherwise I might as well turn around and go back home right now. That being said, I actually do get paid to speak for a living, so I know how to do this the right way. And that's what we're going to do this evening. I am a professional, you'll see shortly. The great black poet and troubadour Gil Scott Heron once replied in one of his famous poems, "The revolution will not be televised." The revolution won't be no rerun, brother. Revolution would be live. Well, guess what? It's 2011 and the revolution is being televised. It is a rerun, however. Listen to me, it is a rerun. You done seen this before. You done seen this before. You folks that were back there in Nam, you folks that were in Memphis, you folks that knew King when King was a baby. You know, King is no historical figure for me. If you were sitting there looking at him, it ain't history. Okay? This has happened before. So what do we do? Apparently, the revolution is being televised and it's live, it's a rerun, however. Whenever 40% of the eligible voters stay home or make stupid decisions not based on their own self-interest, but based on misinformation, disinformation, and apathy, you get the kind of results we've seen recently in Wisconsin.
That's right.
So don't act like you're amazed, okay? Don't be amazed. The truth of the matter is we were asleep at the switch. We failed to convince our comatose sisters and brothers to come to their own aid. Consequently, we allowed the real haves, the corporations and their lackeys, and would-be Republicans. Does anybody making $30,000, $40,000 think they can afford to be a Republican? In any kind of reality. The real Republicans don't recognize the real haves are them, and these folks that think they can afford these principles, they can't afford them. That's not in their self-interest. That's what we got to cure as a pathology. Now, we have to accept responsibility for this failure and get over the denial of having let this catastrophe take place.
Yes.
You have to forgive yourself for not having done everything you could have done to stop it from happening. That's all I'm saying. Okay? Okay. Now that we're over it, and we better be, because guess what? We ain't got time to be wallowing in no damn kind of pit. You feel me? Understand what I'm saying? The real battle began on March 10, 2011.
Yes.
when the forces of evil eviscerated 50 years of labor peace and discarded Wisconsin's labor statute, which allowed public workers to collectively bargain. Now, mind you, the title of the law was the Labor Peace Act. The title they put to the law was the Labor Peace Act, Gaylord Nelson. The purpose of the law was to regulate the interests of the public, the employer, and the labor, so that the public would still receive the services to which they are entitled by their government, without the employers and labor's disputes and differences disrupting or interfering with the deliverance of vital services to the public that we serve. Okay, do I need to repeat that? Matt will get the speech and you can read it yourselves online. There's no need trying to differentiate us from taxpayers. We are taxpayers. Pay damn well more than what our share should be, our fair share. Some of us even lend the government money, as evidenced by the fact that a number of us receive tax returns. Why do you think you receive the returns? You're lending your government money. Aren't we generous? Don't you feel generous? To a fault? Okay, so that happens every year. So you know who we are. We are the people, right? Now, in conclusion, because Matt said keep this to 8 minutes, I've probably been at about 6 now, it's time to roll. How can we allow 50 years of collective bargaining history to go up in a cloud of dust and a hearty high of silver? I'll tell you, by not insisting that our members actively participate in the democratic life of our union. I'm talking to trade union people now. We become entirely too bureaucratic and too laid back to ensure that our sisters and brothers remain on constant alert. It's no secret that a small fraction of our unions are run by a few people. My union has 5,000 people in it. Probably 3 dozen people run the damn union. You feel it? You see what I'm saying? That's not enough. It's not good enough. So when the time comes to activate the troops, our troops are unfamiliar with what actions they could take to neutralize our enemies. The large corporations who don't pay their fair share of anything don't have this problem. They've overcome that problem. We need to overcome that problem among ourselves. One thing you can count on, our enemies, they don't need this kind of discussion. They don't have it. They make a decision, it's done. Therefore, what we have to do is that we have to get over the confusion among ourselves and realize what's in our best interest. And never again do some of the things we've done. So in this moment of apparent crisis, I urge the following actions be taken. And it's simple and it's 4 steps. Let's make a commitment to never again be complacent about the rights we once had and must now redouble our efforts to regain. Number 2. Let us never again place our trust in the untrustworthy. Number 3, let's learn to define for ourselves what our self-interests are as working class people. I have no idea what the term middle class means. Does anybody? We ain't got no classes in this country. We have income groups. This is not England or places to recognize class. We don't have that much consciousness. Maybe we need to work on that. Yeah, well, socialists can teach you something about that. I'm trying to learn. Finally, and I'm out of here after this, let's resolve to remember this moment as the moment that kicked off our lack of apathy and re-engagement in the democratic process and the reinvigoration of the trade union movement in Wisconsin, the United States of America, and the world.